Thank y'all so much. We're so glad to be here.
Yeah, what an absolute honor to be here at the Library of Congress. Thank you so much for joining us.
We're gonna do a song that my Uncle Bobby wrote about my grandma, Granny, we called her, in Patterson, Louisiana on the Bayou Teche. Here's something called the St. Mary Two-Step. Pagaille mon petit poteau, trop sur tous les goûts, j'ai parti les maringouettes dans les camps. You les bons des morgues et de les chocots dans les marais, c'est les vasses pour juger mon châtiment. Les chevrettes et les décors, tout sur les bateaux pour manger et danser toute la nuit. Sur le bord de la rivière, plus de coucher, je vais la joindre, ma petite créole de Saint-Marie. Allez aussi la plumillon dans le ville de Patterson, mais si pour on va proposer les lawas. Je peux pas la lâcher dans ma cœur et ma tête dans le de mon collège et sera pour moi. Son papa il est balade, puis tirer les vaches, sa maman elle est partie à la pêche. Les gars mon shot est arrivé, ne cuche pour la voler, pour l'amener au et un autre Bayou Teche.
Well, I'm not a Louisiana native, but New Orleans is my adopted home. I've been living there for almost 15 years. And when I first moved to New Orleans, I think one of the things that really surprised me was seeing my family name different places and, you know, things that I was familiar with from growing up in a Haitian family and being Haitian, kind of mirrored in the food and dance and culture of Louisiana. And I read this incredible book called The Word That Made New Orleans, The World That Made New Orleans, by a writer named Ned Sublette. And I have to say that book really changed my life because it made me, it talks a lot about the Haitian Revolution and the impact of the Haitian Revolution and the cultural and historical imprint that Haiti left on Louisiana. But at the time that I had moved to New Orleans, I didn't really see much information about that available beyond that book. And, you know, I'm just so particularly delighted to be here because Haiti is so much part of this story of this music, and, you know, certainly sent me on a very fulfilling creative journey. But I think a big part of our work here is really talking about this music and why it's important for it to continue to be played and for it to continue to exist. So this is I'm going to play you the first song that I ever learned to sing in Haitian Creole. And this is a song called La Tibonite, and it's talking about a river and a valley in Haiti. And it's saying, I went to La Tibonite, and they tell me that the sun is ill, it's lying still. And I went to go see the sun, I found the sun was sleeping, and when I came back, I found the sun had died, and it hurts my heart to have to bury the sun. And I sent that MP3 to my dad, and he translated the words for me, and I was like, I have to know more about this music, and so we'll play that for you next. La Tibonito, yo voye pale mwe, yo dim sole malade. Sole malade, li couché, la Tibonito, yo voye pale mwe, yo dim sole malade. Lem te rive, moi jwen soleil couché. Lem te rive, moi jwen soleil couché. Ça fait la peine pour m'enterrer soleil. C'est regrettant ça pour m'enterrer soleil. Soleil malade, li couché, la Tibonito. Yo voye pale mwe, yo dim soleil malade. Soleil malade, li couché, la Tibonito. Yo voye pale mwe, yo dim soleil malade. Lem te rive, moi jwen soleil mourir. Lem te rive, moi jwen soleil mourir. Ça fait la peine pour m'enterrer soleil. C'est regrettant ça pour m'enterrer soleil. Ça fait moins mal pour m'enterrer soleil. Ça fait moins mal pour m'enterrer soleil. Soleil malade, li couché, la Tibonito. Yo voye pale mwe, yo dim soleil malade. Soleil malade, li couché, la Tibonito. Yo voye pale mwe, yo dim soleil malade. Lem te rive, moi jwen soleil couché. Lem te rive, moi jwen soleil mourir. Ça fait la peine pour m'enterrer tant ça pour m'enterrer soleil. Ça fait moins mal pour m'enterrer soleil. Ça fait moins mal pour m'enterrer soleil. C'est malheureux ça pour m'enterrer soleil. Ça fait moins mal pour m'enterrer soleil. C'est regrettant ça pour m'enterrer soleil. Ça fait moins mal pour m'enterrer soleil. Ça fait moins mal pour m'enterrer soleil. Merci. Well, at soundcheck today, Louis said, "Hey, Layla, do you have any rosin?" And I was like, "No, I thought you might have some rosin." So we get to rosin our bows with authentic Library of Congress rosin tonight.
We checked it out and we will return it.
This is some of the most protected rosin in the United States. You used it?
Use it while you get it. Blues Are Bebe?
Yeah.
That was a little something called The Blues Are Bebe by the Frères Carrière, some Creole fiddlers from South Louisiana. And keeping in with that Creole fiddling tradition, we're going to do a song by Canray Fontenot that we've been playing together for years called Les Plats Soumis. It means, where can I go to find a do-nothing job? Where can I go to find the plates already set on the table?
pour trouver un job à rien faire. Où je vais aller pour trouver les plats tout mis sur la table.
Où je crève de faim, elle après crève de faim, elle aussi.
Les plats tout mis sur la table de ma maison.
Yeah. Another song about Bayou Teche. There's so many. Something called the Bayou Teche two-step. Originally recorded by Ralph Rensler from up here in Washington, D.C., Mr. Austin Peete in Louisiana.
Merci bon Dieu, regardez comment la misère finit pour nous. Merci bon Dieu, regardez tout ça, n'a tout porté pour nous. Merci bon Dieu, regardez tout ça, n'a tout porté pour nous. Merci bon Dieu, regardez comment la misère finit pour nous. La pluie tombée, maïs poussé, tout le monde qui grand goût pralait manger. En nous danser Congo, en nous danser pétron. Papa bon Dieu dit non, c'est la misère finie. Papa bon Dieu dit non, c'est la misère finie pour nous. Merci bon Dieu, regardez comment la misère finit pour nous. Merci bon Dieu, regardez tout ça, n'a tout porté pour nous. Merci bon Dieu, regardez tout ça, n'a tout porté pour nous. Merci bon Dieu, regardez comment la misère finit pour nous. La pluie tombée, maïs poussé, tout le monde qui grand goût pralait manger. En nous danser Congo, en nous danser pétron. Papa bon Dieu dit non, c'est la misère finie. Papa bon Dieu dit non, c'est la misère finie pour nous. Misère nous finie, misère nous finie, misère nous finie. Misère nous finie.
So, where Layla and I come together in music, the Michos were from France, and we spent a generation or two in Haiti and ended up in New Orleans after the revolution. And so much of the music, of Louisiana and so many other things in Louisiana are completely influenced by the Haitian side of what came into Louisiana. And it's given so little credit often, from the language to the music to the architecture to the food and on and on. And it's so interesting where Layla and I come together. I mean, I've been playing Cajun and Creole music since I was pretty young. And, Layla brings her Haitian roots everywhere she goes. And somehow our musics just work well together, and it just kind of speaks of that right there. But we're going to go... So we're going to go a little further back into the Michos' time in France, which was who knows how long, up until the mid-1700s. And this song has existed in France for a long time. We actually learned it. My uncle learned it in France quite a few years ago. And it still rings true for our family. It's called La Jument de Michaud. It means the Michaud's mare. And it's about a horse who ate all of its hay during the summer, so it had none left in the winter. Rings true today, but here's La Jument de Michaud. nattes chanter. J'entends le loup et les renards et la belette. J'entends le loup et les renards chanter. C'est dans 10 ans je m'en irai. Je mon Michaud à passer dans le pré. Je mon Michaud et son petit poulain à passer dans le pré. Et moi j'ai tout le foin. L'hiver viendra, les gars, l'hiver viendra. Je mon Michaud se répondira. Dans 4 ans je m'en irai, j'entends le loup et les renards chanter. J'entends le loup, les renards et la belette. J'entends le loup et les renards chanter. C'est dans 4 ans je m'en irai. Je mon Michaud à passer dans le pré. Je mon Michaud et son petit poulain passer dans le pré et moi j'ai tout le foin. L'hiver viendra, les gars, l'hiver viendra. Je mon Michaud se répondira.
It's amazing how you can be singing about the most sad, depressing things in both of our cultures, in both of our ancestral cultures, and people are dancing, and you know, that's how we process our pain. It's a beautiful thing. So this song is in that vein. This one's called the Jogo Plombo. And it's a drinking song and a breakup song. And it says, I'm drinking my Jogo Plombo, that's like a jug of moonshine, and I'm crying and praying just to see your pretty face. It hurts me so much that we can't be together. And it's all of your parents' fault. So if we can't get along, you can thank your mother. And if I never see you again, you can thank your father. No hard feelings.
J'ai roulé les chemins, j'ai pleuré, j'ai
Flambeau, c'était pour voir ta figure. Oh, Timon, toi tu me fais la peine. On a eu pour se séparer, c'était la cause à tes parents. Si on était si mal d'accord, c'est la cause à ta maman. Si on a eu pour se séparer, tu peux m'essayer à ton papa. J'ai roulé les chemins, j'ai pleuré, j'ai prié avec un jour au flambeau. C'était pour voir ta figure. Si on était si mal d'accord, c'est la cause à ta maman. Si on a eu pour se séparer, tu peux m'essayer à ton papa.
Ça me donne les frissons. Bien, merci.
Maman voyait me baiser café, ouais. En arrivant dans ce portail, j'entends ma mère arrêter. Maman voyait me baiser café, ouais. En arrivant dans ce portail, j'entends ma mère arrêter. Oh, ça m'a pris la caille, elle m'est arrivée. 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 Maman voyait me baiser café, ouais. En arrivant dans ce portail, j'entends ma mère arrêter moi. Maman me voyait me baiser café, ouais. En arrivant dans ce portail, j'entends ma mère arrêter. reten. Oh, ça m'a pris la caille, les m'arriver. 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 Maman me voyait me baiser café, ouais. En arrivant, me se potage dans ma moelle. Maman me voyait me baiser café, ouais. En arrivant, me se potage dans ma moelle. Oh, ça m'a pris la caille. Ça m'a pris la caille, les m'arriver. Ça m'a pris la caille, les m'arriver. Ça m'a pris la caille, les m'arriver. Oh, ça m'a pris la caille, les m'arriver. Ça m'a pris la caille, les m'arriver. Ça m'a pris la caille, les m'arriver. Oh, ça m'a pris la caille, les m'arriver. Oh, ça m'a pris la caille, les m'arriver.
We're going to do a song about Natchitoches, Louisiana, and another sad love song. Sur Natchitoches, il y a un brin à qui je veux lui faire fortune. J'ai que mes dimanches pour aller la voir. J'ai que mes dimanches pour aller la voir. Et pas un beau matin, je ne faudra aller. Je l'ai trouvé sous son lit couché. Dormez belle, sommeillez-vous. Belle et nos amants, je ne pense qu'à vous. Oh, ni non je dors, ni je me sommeille. Toute la nuit, je suis privé. Mon cher amant, je ne pense qu'à vous. Mon cher amant, tu maries à nous. J'irai me faire bâtir un abritant. You mon serait des herbages et ma boisson, ça serait des pleurs pour deux amants qui vivent en longueur. Et si que vous avez un habit à prendre, prenez-la dans triste couleur aux deux amants qui vivent en longueur.
You need to sing? You might need to sing? That'll be fine.
I'm gonna play a song. This is the part of the set where we each play a song for y'all. And this one's called Oh Ma Charmante Épargnez-moi, and it's a composition by Louis Moreau Gottschalk, who was a composer who lived in the French Quarter in the mid-1800s, and we love his music. He was another French Creole who came from Haiti, lived a few blocks away from my family and John James Audubon and the rest of the crew. Not to put us up there with them, but we were neighbors. But this is a really beautiful Creole ballad that he wrote, musical ballad. And I did my first of his songs on my solo album that came out 2 years ago called Souvenir de Puerto Rico. But he was, one of the main things he did for the music of the 1800s was took what he heard in the New World and put it on piano and on paper, so he allowed us to have a glimpse into the music he heard by notating it and writing it down. And I believe there's some of these collections over here. And Layla played on my album and on Souvenir de Puerto Rico from his time in Puerto Rico. I do have a few albums I'll be selling on the side of the stage after the performance. Didn't want to come empty-handed, but we'll tell you why we're really here after a few songs. So. Here's something called Oh Ma Charmante Épargnez-moi. Thank you. Bien merci.
I'm going to follow that up with some music written by a Haitian composer named Franz Cassius from probably 100 years later. He was an incredible classical guitarist, and he emigrated to the United States in the 40s and actually released music with Smithsonian Folkways, or at some point Smithsonian Folkways absorbed his collection of recorded music. And around the time I was telling you about earlier, when I moved to New Orleans and I was looking for Haitian folk songs, I found his record, Haitian Folk Songs. And I thought, wow, they do exist. He's a huge inspiration to me. His music is absolutely beautiful. You can find it on the internet, and you can certainly find it through the Smithsonian Folkways recordings. But this is a piece that he wrote called Non Fond Bois, which means in the deep woods.
So as promised, we're going to tell you why we're really here. Layla and I both independently recorded and helped each other out on our sessions with an amazing project that was just announced today, and it's called Musique by the New Foundation. You saw Scott here introduce it, and we're really proud to be part of this representation of Louisiana French, and you know, from the Cajun to Creole and Francais Standard and all the dialects, and there's such a great collaboration and diversity on this album that has been put together by the New Foundation of New Orleans. They're right here tonight, and that's one of the reasons why we're all here. So, thank you, Scott and Rudy. And of course, a huge thanks to the Library of Congress for helping make happen and having us here tonight, among many other organizations.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll add to that when Louis asked me, hey, do you think it would be fun to play on each other's songs? I did not imagine that we would be presenting all of this music to you here at the Library of Congress, so this is really, really special.
So here's one of the songs that I recorded, and it was very fresh. It's a remake of a very old song, but I wrote my own words with a life experience that was super fresh at the time. So now we've gotten a little more used to it, but as music goes, it grows. So here's something called L'Abandon, The Abandon. Je me suis levé matin dans mes bien beaux matins. Oui, c'était pour passer un beau jour dans ma vie. Je m'ai trouvé tout seul à pleurer. Moi j'ai quitté d'un abandon. Toi tu m'as promis ton amitié, une promesse d'être ma femme. Moi la table après gambler. Moi j'ai croyé tout est menti. Toi tu m'as compté quand on couchait sous les étoiles dans le ciel. Moi je l'aimais beaucoup, beaucoup plus que ma vie. Et c'est ça la raison, je peux plus prendre soin de moi. Mais depuis l'âge de 35 ans, j'ai pris mes chances, mais avec toi. Et de jour en jour, j'ai trouvé la vérité. Je connais, je m'en vais dans les grands chemins. Mon chat mange, mais moi tout seul. Et déchiré, délaissé, moi je m'en vais d'un abandon. And of course, you can pre-order the album with this barcode out in the lobby there. It's called Musique with an S, and features a bunch of great artists from New Orleans, some who have never recorded before, and we're so glad they did now. Very, very, very great project that we're so glad to be, proud to be part of. And I think Layla's going to do one of her tracks from the record.
I recorded this on my record, The Capitalist Blues, years ago. If you haven't heard of it, it was recorded in 2017, and I was looking around thinking, what is this feeling that I have? And thinking about A Capitalist Blues 2 now. It's a repeating condition. I hear that, I read something recently that said, you know, history doesn't necessarily repeat, but it does rhyme. And anyway, this is a song called La Vie Vieux Nègre, and it's a Haitian song that was sung by a singer who called himself Coupé Cloué, one of the most famous Haitian compas singers. And I got really into his records that he made in the 60s and 70s with a group called Trio Select, just like beautiful, beautiful songs. But I always loved this one, and so it's a song that is talking about an old man that's been living in poverty. And it says, the soles of his shoes are as thin as crepes, and if the world is round, it's not his fault. Money doesn't fall in the pockets of poor people. We do what we have to do to get by, but at the end of the day, as soon as it comes in, it's gone. And I thought, that's a song for the Capitalist Blues. But me and Louis got to play a really stripped-down version for the music recording. La vie vieux nègre caché sous crêpe soleil, même si la terre ronde, c'est pas faute malheureux. La vie vieux nègre caché sous crêpe soleil, même si la terre ronde, c'est pas faute malheureux. L'argent pas fait boule, la poche malheureux, nous fait pour nous vivre sous la terre bénie. L'argent pas fait boule, la poche malheureux, nous fait pour nous vivre sous la terre bénie. La vie vient cacher sous crève soleil, même si la terre ronde, c'est pas faute malheureux. La vie vient cacher sous rêve soleil, même si la terre c'est pas faute malheureux. La jambe pas fait bon, la poche malheureux, nous fait pour nous vivre sous la terre bénie. La jambe pas fait bon, la poche malheureux, nous fait pour nous vivre sous la terre bénie. Mes amis, la jambe pas fait bon,
No poche malheureux.
mes amis, la jambe pas fait mon lit.
No poche malheureux.
Mais quand rentrer les dépenser,
No poche malheureux.
mes amis, là, je peux faire boulot.
No poche malheureux.
La vie vient comme j'ai sous rêve soleil, même si la terre c'est pas faute malheureux. La vie vient comme j'ai sous rêve soleil, même si la terre c'est pas faute malheureux. La jambe pas fait bon, la poche malheureux, nous fait pour nous vivre sous la terre bénie. La jambe pas fait bon, la poche malheureux, nous fait pour nous vivre sous la terre bénie. Mes amis, la jambe pas fait pour nous.
No poche malheureux.
Mes amis, la jambe pas fait mon lit.
No poche malheureux.
Mais quand rentrer les dépenser,
No poche malheureux.
mes amis, la jambe pas fait pour nous.
No poche malheureux.
Mais quand rentrer les dépenser,
No poche malheureux.
mes amis, là, je pas fait money.
No poche malheureux.
Mes amis, là, je pas fait boulot.
No poche malheureux.
Mais quand rentrer les dépenser,
No poche malheureux.
nos poches malheureux. Merci.
Like that Capitals Blues. We're going to do the second song that I did on the record, and this is a song that my father, Tommy Michaud, wrote. He not only taught me the love of Cajun music and the language, he also taught me an appreciation and awareness for the ecology and the environment of Louisiana. He is, excuse me. Well, he was a scientist. Now he's retired. That's what I was going to say. And he's also an accordion player. He plays with Les Frères Michaud, All Brothers family band. And that's where my brother and I learned. We started Lost Bayou Ramblers after playing in the family band for a while. And he wrote this song called La Valse de Mèche Perdue, and it's called the Lost Marsh Waltz. And being both a musician and an ecologist and a wetland scientist, he's very aware of the culture's direct tie to the land. And in Louisiana, as the land is slipping away under our feet, the last line in this song is, how many years before the culture follows the land into the sea? So, got to take care of both, you know? La Valse de Mèche Perdue. Nessa fila bem, quand je vois la mèche, je vois que c'est pas tout. Quand j'étais petit, c'était mille et mille désert. C'était tout la mèche, c'est comme un matin salé. Quand les Acadiens sont arrivés dans la Louisiane, c'était la Potomac qu'on était isolés. Isolés de l'influence des Américains, isolés pour préserver notre langue et notre culture. haut de 1927, la mer a commencé à bâtir les levées. Et tout l'eau douce qui devrait courir au Mexique pourrions l'élever jusqu'à Golfe du Mexique. Sans le sédiment et la nourriture du fleuve, tout l'eau a commencé à s'amincir et mourir. Combien des années avant que je suis dans la mer? Thank y'all. I'll tell Tommy you said you like the song. I definitely know he's proud to have it played here at the Library of Congress. And to have it on the record. And he's watching my boys tonight, so it's the least I could do. it's on it.
We landed together. Well, we thanked all the people that we have to thank, I think, tonight throughout the concert, but really, just so much gratitude for everyone who organized this concert and this album and who is really doing this extremely important cultural activism. It's really such a source of creativity and life for me, and I'm sure that Louis agrees. And we're just so honored to, represent the Francophone Creole diaspora of Louisiana. So thank you for being here with us and listening to our songs. We're going to end with a song that we actually started playing this when we got invited to play. We either play at like dive bars in New Orleans, or we play like really big gigs. and we really hope to continue on that trajectory. But I remember I was in France last year. We were invited to play at a festival called the Sons d'Hiver, the Sounds of Winter Festival, which is a really beautiful festival. And they were really into inviting us to collaborate further. And that was like our first time. We've been playing music together for, about 10 years, and that was our first time actually rehearsing and sitting down and not just like setting up in the corner of
They made us.
They made us rehearse. Yeah, they forced us. And it was really helpful. We were like, oh, okay, that's what's going on in these songs. But it was during that time we were playing with these two incredible Haitian drummers, Kebie Hissou and Claude Saturn, who are based in Paris. And the festival connected us with them, and I thought, oh man, there's this song I've always wanted to learn, and it's called Trois Feuilles, which in Haitian Creole means 3 leaves. It's really talking about 3 herbs, and it's saying 3 leaves, 3 roots. I throw them down to forget, and I pick them up to remember. And I feel like that is so much in the spirit of what we do in our work. We throw the leaves down, and we make all kinds of wild music, and then we keep on picking them up, and we keep on remembering who we are, and we keep on sharing that. So thank you again so much for being with us, and we're going to end with that song. Toi feuille, toi racine, je t'ai plié, ramassé, songé. Toi feuille, toi racine, je t'ai plié, ramassé, songé. Moi gagné, percé, moi, toi feuille, tombé là-dedans, je t'ai plié, ramassé, songé. Moi gagné, j'étais plié, ramassé, songé. Toi feuille, toi racine, j'étais plié, ramassé, songé. Toi feuille, toi racine, j'étais plié, ramassé, songé. Moi gagné, percé, moi, toi feuille, tombé là-dedans. J'étais plié, ramassé, songé. Moi gagné, percé, moi, toi fait tomber là-dedans. J'étais plié, ramassé, songé. Toi fait tomber dans le bassin, moi. Toi fait tomber dans le bassin, moi. Toi fait tomber dans le bassin, moi. Toi fais tomber dans le bassin, moi. songer. Toi veille, toi sinon, j'ai t'ai prié,
Ramasser, songer.
moi gagné, bercé moi, toi fait tomber là-dedans.
J'étais brillé, ramasser, songer.
Moi gagné, bercé moi, toi fait tomber là-dedans.
J'étais brillé, ramasser, songer.
Toi fait tomber
Dans le bassin, ouais,
en garot. Toi fait tomber
dans le bassin, ouais,
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 toi fait tomber
dans le bassin, ouais.
Louis Michaud.
Layla McCalla.
Merci beaucoup, merci en pile.